What if I told you that in just 6 months, your entire life could look different? Not by chance, not by luck, but by intentional steps, one day at a time. The truth is, transformation is never an accident. It is the result of daily decisions. Many people dream of change, but very few commit to the process. Today, I want to show you a clear path, a plan that will not only shift your habits, but reshape your destiny. Are you ready to discover how 6 months of discipline can unlock the future you've been waiting for? The power of a 6-month commitment is greater than most people realize. 6 months may sound short, but it is long enough to break habits, create new ones, and transform the course of your life. You see, commitment is not about saying yes once. It is about saying yes every day, over and over again, even when you don't feel like it. Many people underestimate what they can do in half a year, yet overestimate what they can do in a single day. But when you focus on the consistent daily steps, 6 months becomes a season of breakthrough, a season of growth, a season of discipline. Think about it. What could change in your life if you made a decision today and honored it for just 6 months? Would your health look different? Would your finances begin to shift? Would your relationships become stronger? 6 months is enough time to see the fruit of faithfulness, but only if you stay committed. The problem is, most people start strong and finish weak. They get excited in the beginning, but when distractions come, when challenges arise, when progress feels slow, they give up. That is why commitment is not an emotional decision. It is a deliberate choice of the will. Commitment means you lock the door to excuses. You silence the voice that says, "I'll start tomorrow." You train your mind to say, "I already started and I will not stop." When you commit for 6 months, you are telling yourself, no matter what comes, I will not quit. And here's the secret: when you remain consistent for 6 months, it becomes a lifestyle. What was once hard now becomes normal. What once took discipline now becomes natural. That is the power of 6 months. But let me ask you this: are you willing to go through the discomfort that comes with commitment? Because commitment will test you. It will stretch you. It will require you to say no to temporary pleasure so you can say yes to lasting results. Commitment demands sacrifice, but the reward is transformation. 6 months of commitment can erase years of regret. 6 months of commitment can open doors you thought were closed. 6 months of commitment can set you on a path that changes not only your life, but also the lives of those connected to you. So here's the challenge. Don't just wish for change, commit to it. Don't just talk about transformation, decide to walk in it. 6 months from now, you will either look back with gratitude for the seeds you planted or regret for the excuses you made. The choice is yours. Will you commit? Will you stand firm when distractions come? Will you press forward when it feels easier to quit? Because once you make the commitment, the next step is learning why small disciplines create the biggest transformations. And that's where everything begins to shift. Why small disciplines create big transformations? Because life is not changed by one big event. It is changed by the little things you choose to do every single day. Most people are waiting for a miracle. They are waiting for one major breakthrough. But the truth is, transformation is the result of consistent, daily actions that seem small in the moment, but they compound over time. Small disciplines may not look powerful on day one, but give them 6 months, give them a year, and they will completely reshape your life. Think about it. A tree does not grow overnight. It grows little by little, every single day. You don't notice the change immediately, but one day you wake up and realize it is taller, it is stronger, it is unshakable. That's the same with discipline. Waking up early, spending 15 minutes in reflection, saving a small portion of your income, reading a few pages of a book, these may look insignificant, but they are investments. Each one is a seed, and seeds don't look like much until harvest comes. The danger is that many people despise small beginnings. They want instant success, instant results, instant transformation. But when you skip the small steps, you miss the foundation that sustains big change. A house is not built in one day, it is built brick by brick. A strong life is not created in one decision, it is created through repeated decisions, daily, quietly, when no one is watching. Discipline is not about perfection, it is about consistency. Missing one day doesn't destroy you, but refusing to return will. The secret of small disciplines is that they build momentum. When you do the little things daily, they create a rhythm. And soon, that rhythm becomes your lifestyle. The person who commits to reading 10 minutes a day, after 6 months, has absorbed wisdom they never thought possible. The person who commits to exercising 15 minutes daily, after 6 months, sees their body change. The person who commits to saving just a little every week, after 6 months, feels the strength of financial discipline. Now here's the question: what small discipline do you need to start today? It doesn't have to be big, it doesn't have to impress anyone, it just has to be consistent. Because transformation is hidden in the small. The big breakthroughs, the big results, the big victories, they are nothing more than the harvest of the little seeds planted consistently. So never despise small beginnings, never ignore the little steps, never underestimate the power of what seems insignificant. Because the truth is, success is not built in the spotlight, it is built in the secret place of daily discipline. And once you understand the power of the small, you are ready to learn how to break old cycles and build new routines. And that is where lasting change begins. Breaking old cycles and building new routines is one of the greatest challenges you will ever face. But it is also one of the most rewarding. Every one of us has patterns, some we are proud of, and some we wish we could erase. Old cycles can be dangerous because they feel familiar, they feel comfortable, but comfort is often the enemy of progress. If you keep doing what you have always done, you will keep getting what you have always had. And if you want a new future, you must be willing to confront the cycles that have held you back for years. Cycles don't just appear out of nowhere. They are built from repeated choices. That's why breaking them requires a conscious decision to say, enough is enough. You cannot change what you tolerate. You cannot overcome what you continue to excuse. Old cycles of procrastination, cycles of fear, cycles of laziness, cycles of unhealthy habits, they may feel like they have control over you. But in truth, you have the power to break them the moment you decide to stop feeding them. But here's the key: breaking a cycle is not enough. You must replace it with a new routine. If you only stop something but don't start something better, the old pattern will return. For example, if you break the cycle of wasting time, you must replace it with the routine of using your time wisely. If you break the cycle of overspending, you must replace it with the routine of saving and budgeting. The principle is simple. You cannot just remove, you must also replace. Routines are powerful because they shape who you are becoming. What you do daily eventually defines your destiny. Think about it. Success is nothing more than a few simple disciplines practiced every day. Failure is nothing more than a few errors in judgment repeated every day. Routines either build you or break you. The good news is you can choose which routines you create. So ask yourself, what cycle needs to end today? And what routine needs to begin? Don't wait for the perfect time. Don't wait until you feel ready, because cycles never break themselves. You must step in and make the decision. And when you create new routines, stick with them long enough until they become natural. At first, it will feel difficult. It will feel uncomfortable. But soon, the very thing that once felt hard will feel automatic. That is the power of replacing cycles with routines. Remember, transformation does not come by accident. It comes by breaking the patterns of the past and choosing new rhythms for the future. And when you master this, you are prepared to discover the secret to staying focused when life gets tough, because distraction will always come to test your commitment. The secret to staying focused when life gets tough is something few people truly understand. Challenges will come, difficulties will rise, distractions will appear, and the world will constantly try to pull you away from your purpose. Staying focused is not about avoiding problems. It is about learning how to keep your eyes on the goal, no matter what storms come your way. Most people fail not because they lack ability, not because they lack vision, but because they give their attention to the wrong things. Focus is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be, and without it, dreams remain just dreams. Focus requires clarity. You must know exactly what you want and why you want it. If your mind is scattered, if your goals are vague, if your purpose is unclear, staying focused becomes almost impossible. When life gets tough, clarity becomes your anchor. It reminds you of the reason you started, the reason you refused to quit. Every successful person has learned to prioritize, to eliminate distractions, and to say no to things that do not serve their purpose. Discipline plays a critical role in focus. You cannot rely on motivation alone, because motivation comes and goes. You cannot rely on feelings alone, because feelings are unreliable. Focus comes from discipline, from training your mind to say, this is what matters, this is what I will pursue, no matter how I feel. When you practice discipline consistently, you build mental muscles that can withstand pressure, stress, and distraction. The tough moments do not break you, they strengthen you. Another key is resilience. Life will test your focus. People will doubt you, circumstances will challenge you, and opportunities to quit will appear. But resilience is what allows you to return to your focus over and over again, even when everything around you seems to fall apart. Resilience means understanding that setbacks are not failures, they are lessons. They are reminders to adjust, to sharpen your focus, and to keep moving forward. And then there is the power of environment. Your focus is shaped by the people you surround yourself with, the information you consume, and the habits you maintain. If your environment is chaotic, toxic, or distracting, staying focused becomes a battle you are likely to lose. But when you cultivate an environment that supports your purpose, focus becomes natural. You begin to flow with your goals instead of fighting against your surroundings. So ask yourself, what is distracting you today? What is pulling your attention away from your purpose? Because the moment you recognize the distractions, the moment you choose clarity, discipline, and resilience, you take control of your life. You take control of your destiny. And once you master focus in the midst of difficulty, you are ready to learn how to turn vision into daily habits, because vision without action is nothing but a dream waiting to fade. Turning vision into daily habits is the cornerstone of true transformation, because a vision without action is nothing more than a dream that fades with time. You can have the clearest picture of your future, the most exciting goals, the most ambitious dreams, but if you do not translate them into daily actions, they remain distant, unreachable, and eventually forgotten. The bridge between where you are and where you want to be is built by consistent, intentional habits. Habits are not small, they are the building blocks of destiny, and they determine whether your vision becomes reality or remains a wish. Every habit you practice daily is a vote for the person you are becoming. If you choose habits that support growth, learning, discipline, and productivity, you are voting for success. If you choose habits that feed distraction, laziness, and procrastination, you are voting for stagnation. Habits are silent architects of life. They work behind the scenes, shaping your character, shaping your results, shaping the very life you live. That is why turning vision into habits is not optional, It is essential. The challenge is that forming habits requires intentionality. You cannot simply say, "I will change," and expect your life to transform overnight. Change is not a single act. It is a series of repeated actions, done consistently over time. That is why most people fail. They have a vision, but they lack the system, the plan, and the discipline to act on it every day. Turning vision into habits requires planning. It requires asking yourself daily, what one thing can I do today that brings me closer to my vision? And then doing it without excuses, without delay, and without compromise. Another secret is starting small. You do not need to overhaul your entire life in one day. Habits compound. A small habit repeated daily has far greater power than a huge action done once in a while. A 10-minute reading habit can transform your knowledge in months. A simple morning routine can transform your energy, focus, and attitude. The key is consistency. The key is turning the action into a part of your daily rhythm until it becomes automatic, until it no longer feels like effort, until it becomes who you are. Accountability is also critical. Habits are easier to sustain when you have systems, reminders, and people who help you stay on track. If your vision is big and your goals are ambitious, relying solely on willpower will not be enough. You need support, systems, and routines that protect your focus and guide your daily actions. So the question is, what daily habit today can turn your vision into reality tomorrow? What small, intentional action can you commit to consistently, without fail, until it becomes part of your identity? Because once you master the art of turning vision into daily habits, you are prepared to discover the role of faith and discipline in lasting success, and that is where your transformation begins to deepen. The role of faith and discipline in lasting success cannot be overstated, because without them, dreams remain fragile and goals remain distant. Faith is the invisible force that keeps you moving when you cannot see the end. It is what allows you to believe in possibilities that others cannot see. Discipline is the practical force that turns faith into action. One without the other is incomplete. You can have faith and do nothing, and you will go nowhere. You can have discipline without faith, and you may achieve results, but they will lack meaning, direction, and sustainability. True success is born when faith and discipline work together hand in hand. Faith requires vision. You must see the outcome before it appears in reality. You must believe in your ability to achieve, even when circumstances suggest otherwise. Most people fail not because they lack talent, intelligence, or opportunity, but because they fail to believe in themselves long enough to see the results. Faith is not wishful thinking. It is an unwavering confidence that, despite obstacles, your persistence, your decisions, and your daily actions will produce results. When you combine faith with discipline, every action you take moves you closer to the reality you envision. Discipline, on the other hand, is the bridge between vision and results. It is the commitment to do what must be done, even when you do not feel like doing it. It is the ability to stay consistent, to maintain focus, to honor your plans, and to resist the temptation to quit when things get difficult. Discipline is not glamorous, it is often invisible, but it is the backbone of every success story. When you cultivate discipline, you build habits, routines, and structures that support your goals. And when you pair that discipline with faith, even the hardest challenges become manageable because your belief fuels your effort, and your effort strengthens your belief. Another essential aspect is patience. Faith and discipline require patience because lasting success is never instantaneous. It is earned, it is built, and it is grown over time. The temptation to give up is strongest when results are not immediate, but the person who persists, the person who stays committed, is the one who ultimately reaps the rewards. Faith gives you the vision, discipline gives you the consistency, and patience allows you to endure until the harvest comes. So ask yourself, where is your faith today? How disciplined are you in pursuing your goals? Because without both, your journey will be longer, harder, and filled with unnecessary frustration. But with both, you create a force that can overcome obstacles, shatter limitations, and produce results beyond what you thought possible. And once you understand the power of combining faith with discipline, you are ready to redefine your identity through consistency, because who you become is more important than what you achieve. And that is where transformation becomes unstoppable. Redefining your identity through consistency is one of the most powerful ways to transform your life, because who you are today is the result of what you have done repeatedly. Your habits, your choices, your daily actions, they shape your identity, whether you realize it or not. Most people think that identity comes first and actions follow, but the truth is identity is built through consistent action. If you want to become a person of success, a person of influence, a person of discipline, you must act like that person every single day, even when it feels uncomfortable, even when no one is watching. Consistency is the invisible architect of your character. It is what turns ordinary effort into extraordinary results. Think about it. A single day of discipline does not make you successful. A single moment of focus does not define your destiny. But repeated over weeks, months, and years, those small, consistent actions become your habits, your character, your identity. And once your identity shifts, everything in your life begins to shift with it. You begin to see opportunities differently. You make decisions differently. You handle challenges differently. That is the power of consistency. The key is to align your daily actions with the person you want to become. If you want to be healthy, eat like a healthy person, exercise like a healthy person, rest like a healthy person every day. If you want to be wealthy, think, act, save, and invest like a wealthy person consistently. If you want to be a leader, practice leadership every day, in every situation, no matter how small it seems. Consistency creates mastery. It trains your mind, it strengthens your habits, and it builds confidence that cannot be shaken by temporary setbacks. Another critical element is patience. Redefining your identity does not happen overnight. You may not feel the change immediately. People may still see you as the old version of yourself, but that does not matter. Transformation is internal before it is external. The person you are becoming may not be recognized by the world today, but every consistent action is moving you closer to the recognition, the success, and the life you desire. It is also important to guard against shortcuts, because shortcuts never build true identity. Quick fixes, temporary solutions, and inconsistent efforts may give you temporary results, but they cannot redefine who you are. Identity is shaped by long-term patterns, repeated behavior, and unwavering commitment to the person you are determined to become. So ask yourself, who do you want to be? And what consistent actions are you willing to take today to become that person? Because the moment you commit to consistency, you are no longer at the mercy of circumstances or moods. You are becoming the master of your destiny. And once your identity begins to align with your purpose, you are ready to learn how to measure growth without losing motivation, because progress must be tracked, or it will be lost in the distractions of everyday life. How do you measure growth without losing motivation? This is one of the greatest challenges on the path to success, because many people work hard, put in the effort, yet feel like they are going nowhere. Progress can be slow, results can be invisible, and the temptation to quit can become overwhelming. But growth is not always about visible results. Growth is often internal before it is external. It is about becoming stronger, wiser, and more disciplined. It is about developing the mindset, the habits, and the resilience that will sustain long-term success. To measure growth effectively, you must first define what growth means to you. Growth is not only about financial gain. not only about titles or recognition. True growth is about improvement in every area of life, mental, emotional, spiritual, and physical. It is about looking back and realizing that you are not the same person you were 6 months ago, 1 year ago, or even yesterday. Every challenge you overcome, every fear you face, every disciplined action you take is a sign of growth, even if it is not immediately obvious. The second key is to track your actions, not just your results. Results can be delayed. They can be affected by circumstances outside your control, but your actions are always within your control. If you consistently show up, work hard, stay focused, and maintain discipline, you are growing. Measuring growth in this way allows you to stay motivated because you see that your efforts are producing internal change, even when external success seems slow. Another essential principle is celebrating small victories. People often wait for major milestones to acknowledge progress, but this is a mistake. Growth is the accumulation of small wins. Did you resist a bad habit today? Did you complete a task you procrastinated on? Did you make a better choice than yesterday? Each of these small victories is proof that you are moving forward, proof that your discipline is creating transformation, proof that your vision is becoming reality. Recognizing these wins fuels motivation and sustains momentum. It is also critical to compare yourself only to yourself. Comparison to others can lead to discouragement, envy, and frustration. Growth is personal. Your journey is unique. Your pace is yours alone. Measuring progress by your own standard, by your own improvement, ensures that motivation comes from within, not from external validation. So ask yourself, how will you track your growth? How will you recognize the victories that prove you are moving forward? Because the moment you begin to measure growth correctly, your motivation will no longer depend on luck, on circumstance, or on recognition. Your motivation will come from the undeniable proof that you are becoming the person you were meant to be. And once you master the art of measuring growth without losing motivation, you are ready to prepare today for the future you desire, because preparation today determines the opportunities you can seize tomorrow. And that is where your vision truly begins to manifest. Preparing today for the future you desire is one of the most important principles of success, because your future is built on the foundation of your present actions. Many people live as if tomorrow will take care of itself, as if time is infinite and opportunities will always be available. But the truth is, your future is created today in the choices you make, in the habits you develop, in the discipline you exercise. What you do now determines not only where you will be, but who you will become. Preparation requires vision. You must know where you are going before you can take the steps to get there. Without clarity of purpose, your efforts will be scattered, your energy wasted, and your progress slowed. But when you prepare today with intention, every action, every decision, every habit is aligned with the future you desire. Preparation is not passive, it is active. It is not about waiting for opportunities. It is about creating opportunities through deliberate action, planning, and foresight. Another critical element of preparation is consistency. Small, disciplined steps taken daily accumulate into enormous results over time. Saving a portion of your income, developing your skills, investing in relationships, and learning continuously may seem insignificant now, but over months and years, they compound into a life of abundance, influence, and achievement. Preparation is not glamorous, it is often quiet, unseen, and unnoticed. Yet it is the unseen work that determines the visible results. Preparation also demands sacrifice. You cannot prepare for tomorrow if you are consumed by temporary pleasures today. Every choice to delay gratification, every decision to focus on what matters most is a brick in the foundation of your future. People who fail to prepare pay the price later in missed opportunities, stress, and regrets. Those who prepare intentionally gain the advantage because they arrive ready, equipped, and capable to seize the moments that others miss. Faith is another key component. Preparing today requires belief in what is not yet visible. You must act as if the future you desire is possible, even when circumstances suggest otherwise. Preparation without faith can lead to anxiety, doubt, and inaction. Faith allows you to move forward with confidence, knowing that the effort you put in today will produce results tomorrow, even if you cannot yet see them. So ask yourself, what are you doing today to shape the future you desire? Are your habits, your choices, your focus, and your actions aligned with your vision? Because the reality is, preparation is the secret to opportunity. Those who prepare are the ones who are ready when doors open. Those who prepare are the ones who turn dreams into reality. And once you master the principle of preparing today for the future you desire, you are ready to live a life of purpose beyond 6 months, because purpose gives direction to effort. And without it, even the most disciplined work can be wasted. Living a life of purpose beyond 6 months is not just a goal, it is a calling, because purpose is what gives meaning to every action, every decision, every habit you develop. Many people live from day to day, chasing goals without understanding why, filling their lives with activity but lacking direction. A life without purpose is like a ship without a rudder. It may move, it may appear busy, but it will drift aimlessly, and eventually it will run aground. Purpose, on the other hand, gives focus, clarity, and drive. It is the reason you wake up in the morning, the reason you endure challenges, and the reason your life impacts others in ways that last long after you are gone. Purpose is discovered through understanding your unique gifts, talents, and passions, and then aligning them with the needs of the world. It is not enough to work hard, to be disciplined, or to follow a plan. All of that must be tied to a greater reason, a higher calling, something beyond yourself. When your actions are anchored in purpose, even the most difficult tasks feel meaningful. Even setbacks become lessons. Even sacrifices become investments in a future that matters. Without purpose, motivation fades, consistency wavers, and success becomes hollow. Living a life of purpose also requires vision beyond the immediate. 6 months is a season, but life is a journey. Purpose ensures that your daily efforts, your habits, and your choices are not wasted on trivial matters, but are building towards something significant, something eternal. It allows you to make decisions today that honor tomorrow, to prioritize what truly matters, and to invest your energy where it will produce the greatest return. Faith and action must accompany purpose. Knowing your purpose is not enough. You must act on it consistently. You must embrace discipline, perseverance, and resilience to overcome obstacles that will inevitably arise. Purpose without action is only a dream, and action without purpose can lead to frustration and burnout. The combination of clarity, discipline, and consistent effort aligned with purpose is unstoppable. Purpose also impacts those around you. When you live purposefully, your life inspires others, creates opportunities for influence, and leaves a legacy that cannot be erased. It shifts your focus from self-centered goals to contributions that matter, from temporary gain to lasting impact. And the remarkable truth is, the more you live purposefully, the easier it becomes to stay motivated, to maintain consistency, and to navigate challenges with confidence. So ask yourself, are your actions today aligned with the life you are called to live? Are your habits, your decisions, your focus, and your discipline serving your purpose, or are they merely filling time? Because once you understand that purpose drives every successful life, everything changes. Every day gains significance. Every challenge becomes an opportunity, and every decision carries weight. Your 6-month plan is not just about short-term results. It is about setting the foundation for a life of significance. Commit to your purpose, act with discipline, embrace your vision, and prepare for the future. Your life is more than a series of days. It is a story of impact, a journey of meaning, a legacy waiting to be fulfilled. Live intentionally, act boldly, stay focused, and watch as your purpose transforms not only your life, but the world around you.